we're going to look at the structure of the neural of a neuron, basically motor or sensory neuron. Neuron that has myelin sheath or myelinated. Okay, anytime you look at a neuron, please, I want you to have a picture of a tree that has branches, and this is the branches of the tree where you see the leaves. Okay, this is the trunk or what we call the stem, and this is the roots. So there are three things you see here: the branch, the trunk, the branch, the trunk, and the roots. This looks like an axon. Sorry, this looks like a neuron. So we can look at this. I can look at this and draw the neuron. I'll start by this. So look at this now. This is the structure of a neuron. See, I've been able to draw this neuron having these concepts like a tree, a branch of a tree, these branches are the cell body, which are dendrites or dendron. All of this part is the dendron, then this apex. But apex or dendrons are dendrites. It is through the dendrites that impulses from this spike, from this axon, impulses from the axon move along the axon with speed and go to the central body of this neuron and can exit the neuron from this terminal, from this dendrite, which is the terminal. So impulses from the axon can leave the terminal and now jump to another neuron. So this is the function of the dendrites. Impulses from here relay to the another neuron. So as a cell, there's the cytoplasm, the semi-liquid substance, there's this granule body that can neutralize any foreign body in this cell. We have the nucleus, we have the axon. The axon is just like the trunk of a tree. Axon, because an axon, impulses are moving through the axon in form of electrical means. So a sheet called myelin sheath protects or insulates the axon, so that as impulses move into these axons, the myelin sheath insulates the axon. That is the function of the myelin sheath. Because myelin sheath is a tissue, like you know that tissues are a collection of cells that perform a unique or a specific functions. The myelin sheath has a cell which are called the Schwann cell. The Schwann cell. The Schwann cell are found in the myelin sheath, and there is a nucleus in the Schwann cell, which is called the nucleus of the Schwann cell. And then there is a depression between two myelin sheaths. The depression between two myelin sheaths, or the space in between two myelin sheaths, is called the node of Ranvier. Node of Ranvier, named after a scientist that discovered the depression between two myelin sheaths. This node of Ranvier, or this depression, ensure that impulses move with great speed. That is the role of the node of Ranvier. It's ensure fast transmission of impulses along the axons. We have the neurolemma that help to regenerate damaged axons. We have the axon terminal and the terminal dendrites. Through these terminal dendrites, impulses can enter this neuron through its terminal dendrites and move along the axon terminal to the axon itself. Impulses are moving along this to the cell body, and such impulses can exit. If the impulses are going to the target organ, the impulses need to exit so that the target organ can feel the impulses or can receive such, and the effector, the involuntary condition of such system can be corrected as soon as possible. So there is a condition. So but impulse must move along this axon. So impulses can enter this neuron through this terminal dendrites and is move along and still leave it through the what? The dendrite itself. And this time is leaving it and is jumping into another neuron, maybe the neuron that is bringing such impulses to the effector, which could be gland, muscles, or what? Organ, as the case may be. So looking at this structure of a neuron, That will give you a clear picture of a tree. These are the branches, these are the stem, and these are the roots, and other things. So you should know the roles of this. The most important thing in this diagram is the axon. What is the role of the axon? Axon is where impulses flow along this neuron. The axon is protected by a myelin sheet, which gives it insulation. And the myelin sheet is a tissue has cell. The cell of the myelin sheet is called a Schwann cell. The Schwann cell is a place that is depressed. This is called the nucleus of Schwann cell. And then there's a node of Ranvier, which exists in between two Schwann cells. There's a depression. The node of Ranvier ensures that there's a speed at which neurons move, impulses move along this neuron. Like you can see, this neuron can be either known as, you can call this neuron a sensory, the diagram can call it sensory, or this can be motor neuron. Why is it motor or sensory neuron? Is because any neuron that has myelin protecting the axon is either of this. Because you should know, I told you earlier now in my introduction, I told that sensory neurons are part of the P.N.S. Part of the P.N.S. But interneurons are part of the C.N.S. So the interneuron is not myelinated, it's unmyelinated, it doesn't have myelin sheet. The interneuron, the interneuron, which is only found at the C.N.S., does not have myelin sheets. You can draw an interneuron just like this, just very simple. It doesn't have any myelin, it has nucleus, the cell body, it has cell body. But the neuron does not have what? Myelin sheet. So you can see that the neuron of the interneurons are unmyelinated. They lack myelin. Why are they lacking myelin? There is no movement, there is no impulse, it's moving across its axons. So there is nothing is protected. So this lacks a myelin sheet. But in motor neuron, which axon movements are done to and fro in these axons, the axons need to be protected, need to be insulated by a myelin sheet. So these are the difference between a neuron from the P.N.S., which could be sensory neuron or motor, from that of the C.N.S., which is interneuron. That here, their neurons are unmyelinated. 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 What does it mean? It means that it is without myelin sheets. And because it is without myelin sheets, it lacks Schwann cells. And there is no nucleus on the Schwann cells. Please, let's take it.